What if a vinyl record could be not just a record, but also an engaging board game? That's exactly what I've been sent in the mail just recently from a band called Big Green Cherry. I've never heard of them before, but this is a very, very interesting concept, I think, in terms of how to release a record, but how to play with the physical formats and the physical media that is vinyl, adding to that whole concept that we talk about quite a lot on this channel about the wider canvas that you have when you're releasing music on vinyl. So without further ado, let's see how this record can also be an engaging board game. Really interesting. Let's get straight into it. So just before we unbox the album, I wanted to go to their website so you can get the whole lowdown as to what this is all about. It's from a band called Big Green Cherry, and the album is called No One Cares. So a truly unique and collectible album stroke board game with benefits not found elsewhere. It's a unique pairing of old school multimedia. The inside album cover transforms into a one-of-a-kind board game experience to complement the album. So it says here as well, there's only 200 copies for sale to the public. Each album is signed by each member and numbered in gold foil, so some real genuine exclusivity here. It also comes with this free BGC fan club membership, so each album includes a complimentary membership to their rock and roll club, and the BGC fan club membership entitles you apparently to up to 20 free BGC t-shirts and BGC gold club card for exclusive backstage experiences. This is really blending, I guess, kind of or physical media with online kind of presence. With this is a really clever way of promoting a band and building a tribe around their music. I think, you know, hats off to them for the concept of it, certainly. So you get a fully functional music tour themed board game called the Big Green Cherry Festival Experience, and it's a fast-paced, you never know who is going to win game. So complete with band member game pieces, which will be interesting to see when we unbox it, and it comes with a die as well, so it's got the dice included. So you pair the board game with the free BGC Festival app, apparently, which is available soon. So that isn't built yet, I assume, but is in the progress of being built. Apparently this adds some element to the experience as well, so it'd be interesting to see what that adds to the mix. Further down the page, there's some more context around the whole 20 t-shirt side of things. So it turns out that these t-shirts are one every year for the next 20 years. That's quite a commitment because it takes you up to the year 2043, of course. Very interesting concept from this group in terms of building an exclusive club and building fans around their music. Interesting stuff, and that also applies, of course, to the backstage pass side of things as well. So that's up until the year 2043. If I become a member of this thing, I can have that experience up until that point. Interesting. So as you probably saw at the beginning of the video, it ships in this interesting velvet bag, which is different. I've never had a record shipped to me in a velvet bag, but presumably it holds the contents. I can feel here there's something there, probably the contents for the board game. So let's get straight into this and not waste any more time, shall we? So pull the record out first of all. There's a nice little note from the band there. Thanks, guys. And then I think the only other thing that's in here is, yes, these, which must be our board game pieces. Interesting. So it says here that it says, "Dear Mark," spelled with a K to begin with. Oops, never mind. It's no big deal, guys. Happens to me all the time. We hope you find our very rare, collectible and unique album stroke board game worthy of a review. Please join the club. Okay, cool. And here's the back cover here. There is a club membership card. It tells me the number album that I have, which is number 52, and a album hash code, which I presume I need to enter to become part of this club. So they are indeed foil numbered, as they say. You can see here that we've got number 52 in gold foil up at the top corner of the back cover here. Yeah, interesting package. Thanks ever so much, guys. I can see that it is in fact signed by the members of the band as well on the album cover here. So yeah, that adds to the kind of exclusivity of the whole product. Nice thick gatefold that this is as well. Nice thick spine on there. It's always like the sort of durable card that you get with a lot of modern gatefolds. It's nice to see as well. Let's just open this up and see what we've got. This must be the board for our board game, which is interesting here. Some instructions on how you play the game. I won't go into huge detail here as to how the game works, but of course it must involve these pieces that they've included here. And yeah, here's our play pieces, and these must be, looking at it, these must be based on members of the band. So really interesting concept. The only thing that did cross my mind about this being a board on the inside here is whether or not it might cause issues with the spine. So but because of the way the spine is and how thick it is, I presume it must be partly because of the thickness, you can actually lay it pretty flat, and I guess maybe if you had some sort of weight down here you'd be able to move it down, or maybe over time it would eventually sit a bit flatter. That's the only thing that kind of crossed my mind, but it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. It doesn't seem to be, with the durability of the card, it doesn't seem to be causing issues with the spine or it creasing in a funny way, so it seems to fold in quite a clean manner, which is good. But yeah, these are all our pieces. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces, and the die here as well. So yeah, interesting concept, and I'll have some fun messing around with that in my own time. But I do like the idea, I really do. You know, these are all obviously the band members here as well. As I say, I'm not going to go through every single one of the rules of the game, but there are some interesting elements to it where they're trying to engage you more with the album as a whole and the band. So you're engaging with the fact that it's a physical product, but it tries to pull you into the music and the culture of the band as well. It says here, number 3, if you land on a big green cherry, declare your favourite song on this album and move ahead 1 space. So yeah, as a concept, this is really novel and really creative, so hats off to you. So I've just pulled the record out of the sleeve here, and yes, I was hoping that there would be some nice coloured vinyl here. I'm sort of thinking to myself, you can't have all this about the packaging side of things and the product and the canvas of a vinyl record and the creativity of all that and not make it a nice coloured effect vinyl. Of course, it's a nice green swirly effect coloured vinyl, nice to see. I know some people would prefer black vinyl from an audiophile perspective, but let's face it, this is all about the product, isn't it? All about the kind of packaging. So hopefully the music now as well is as creative as this packaging and this product is. So I'm going to get this on the turntable. I'll see what we think of the music. No One Cares is an alternative rock band with splashes of electronic, industrial and pop flavours mixed in for a modern, eclectic sound. I can hear definite shades of Soundgarden in some of the male vocals on the opening track and a touch of Evanescence in some of Hazel's vocals on the second track, Ashes to Ashes. On the track The World Is Out to Get You, the keyboards have a definite shade of The Killers about them, bringing a high energy to this song. Straight after, I'm impressed yet again by the eclectic mix of styles as I'm treated to an acoustic ballad which is reminiscent to me of Radiohead's Fake Plastic Trees. Really cool. And if that wasn't enough, the last track on side A, called Absorb, throws another cool curveball with an electronic vibe that, on first impression, feels like a faster paced nod to Massive Attack's Teardrop. Flipping over to side B, the opening track Wildflower has a British indie vibe about it with grunge overtones, while the second track immediately makes you sit up and take note by adding a slight industrial atmosphere to the mix. I've always enjoyed albums that aren't afraid to blend and push the concept of genres. While I would certainly class No One Cares as an alternative rock album, the band haven't been afraid to branch out while still retaining an undertone that helps glue it all together. Lovers of heavier, more guitar-forward alternative rock might look elsewhere for their kicks, but fans of wide-ranging styles can look forward to a sonic treat with enough hooks to keep any pop music lover on their toes. For me, the strongest songs are on side A, but like all good albums, sometimes it's the less immediate songs that stay with you the longest. So hats off to you guys for the creativity applied here. It's been one of the most interesting packages I've received as the owner and editor of Sound Matters. So thank you ever so much for that, and I've really enjoyed the music too. Can't really ask for more than that. So that concludes today's video. Thank you ever so much for watching as always. I think this is an interesting concept. I hope you found this entertaining entertaining. If you'd like to check out the project for yourself, there'll be a link in the description below, of course, as always. And I do think this is an innovative and kind of just unique way of a band getting themselves out there in terms of their music, and also drumming up some sort of community around the band as well. It'll be interesting to see how this develops over this 20-year period with the fan club that they've set out there, and receiving a t-shirt every year from the band seems quite generous as part of an exclusive club of just 200 members. So I'm going to check that out for myself. Be interesting to see what other release mechanisms they use or what they come up with in terms of creative ideas going forward as well. It's nice to see the physical vinyl format being used again as a broader canvas for creative expression. So let us know what you think about this down in the comments below, and if you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing, and we'll see you in that next one. Until then, keep spinning.